All right, are we on, guys? Good morning and welcome to Sunrise Extra. Hello, Instagram. Hello, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and everyone just taking a look at a glorious sunset here on your Monday morning. It's going to be 70 degrees today, folks. We're trying something new. We're going to be live here on all of the formats, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, just kind of talking about some more of the day's stories and really kind of getting in depth. We're going to be joined by Ashley Korslien and Rod Hill to talk about our glorious weather this weekend. I hope you guys got out to enjoy some of it. We're going to be showing you some of those photos. We're going to be checking in on some of our top stories because things keep evolving. So log on every morning, Monday through Friday after sunrise and during the Today Show, and we can kind of keep it local here. So let's get an update first on that shooting in Netherlands. We're just kind of getting an update now that they have a 37-year-old Turkish man who is their prime suspect right now. They're looking for him. He was seen on one of those trains. Now, this is outside of Amsterdam in the Netherlands in an area called Utrecht. And it happened this morning, a shooting where one person was dead, many people are wounded. They're looking for that gunman now, and they're checking all of the borders around the Netherlands for him to possibly kind of lock down there, saying this is a possible terror motive. And if you kind of see me here on Facebook, I've also got the phone here with Instagram, so that's why I'm addressing two different cameras. Hi guys, I can see all your comments, so shoot me any questions if you have some. What was that? In Texas. Okay, yeah, so that crazy fire at a petrochemical plant in Houston, this is a live shot from it. I'll kind of turn this Instagram so you can kind of see there on the monitor down below. This is a live picture this morning. This is in Deer Park. It's outside of Houston. A chemical tank somehow burst into flames yesterday. This has been going on for almost 24 hours now, and it just hasn't stopped. Authorities down there telling people in all these neighborhoods nearby to stay indoors. This smoke, obviously toxic, burning chemicals there outside of Houston, but this fire they're calling uncontrollable. The video has just been crazy this morning of them trying to get it under control, but you see cars kind of driving by with no problem at all. So we're going to keep an eye on that as well. What else is in the news this morning? That New Zealand shooting from Friday where 50 people were killed in a mosque there. And it turns out one of those folks who was killed actually has an Oregon connection. His name is Ata Elion. He was 33. He was just a brand new husband and a dad. And the family moved to New Zealand a couple years ago from Corvallis, where he was actually a member of a mosque down in Corvallis. And he was just loved by so many people. Back in 2010, his mosque in Corvallis was actually firebombed, and they moved to New Zealand after that. No one was hurt in the Corvallis attack, but just a tragedy there. And the New Zealand Prime Minister saying that she is going to be starting some new gun laws and reformation down there because that gunman bought some of those guns online from a New Zealand gun store. So we're watching that story. Have you guys heard about this riot of the students that happened at Geyser Middle School in Vancouver? The video is crazy. I think we have some of that. Our own Mike Benner tweeted it out on Friday when this happened. So there's a basketball tournament going on at Geyser Middle School. There is one kid who the sheriff's department said was being disruptive in some kind of way, and there's conflicting reports of how that was happening. But they were trying to remove this kid from the tournament. Well, all the other kids, they were taking him outside, and all the other kids started to follow because they wanted to see what was going to happen to him. It turned into this massive fight during the basketball tournament that had to be stopped. All of those kids said to be yelling, assaulting, you can see them pushing back on a lot of those officers. And a lot of the parents we're talking with this morning, and the girl who shot this cell phone video for us says, this is running rampant in our schools. It's obviously not just at Geyser Middle School, but our Kristen Severance has been doing these special investigations on classrooms in crisis, kids talking back, parents and teachers or school administrators not being able to physically touch the kids or really discipline them in any way. to kind of get this to stop. So one mom is saying that she is not sending her daughter to school there this morning. She is going to go in and talk to the school administrators about what's happening, and she's going to keep her kid out of school. That's that mom we're talking to right there, about what is happening in our schools, that all this violence is okay. And one of those moms had a great soundbite. She said, you know, if these kids are attacking sheriff's officers who have guns and tasers, where's it going to stop? You know, what are we, how are we going to do something about this? So you see kind of folks walking around. We've got Kyle Laboshi in the house. He's going to come talk to us in a minute about his investigation this morning on this woman that got a really weird illness when she was visiting in Mexico, and it could be linked to tainted alcohol. We've got Ashley Korslien coming in to talk about positive parenting this morning. And all you kind of parents out there, I'll kind of start talking about this before she comes in a second. But how do you discipline your teenagers and your little kids? You know, it's a hard. Kyle, come on in here.
Hello.
Come on in. Hi. Let's just move.
Because you camera operator and all.
I am, you know.
She does it all.
This is what we do now.
All right.
Okay, so here we go. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so your story, sick in Mexico.
Right.
What's the story with this? Was she drinking alcohol that was tainted?
Right,
or
so it was a
no?
woman who went to Mexico for vacation, right? Like a lot of people do this time of year. And went to Sayulita, which is on the Pacific coast.
Love Sayulita.
Very cool
town. A lot
town.
of Portlanders go there.
A lot of Portlanders do. So things are going great, having a good time. Then on the 5th day, starts feeling really weird, like not really aware of what's going on, having difficulty making choices on the menu, and just the surroundings are kind of a blur. And then that night goes into a full-blown seizure. Comes out of it, paramedics are called, treated, things look okay, they leave, and then another seizure. And she's no pre-existing condition, she hasn't had seizures in the past. It's really a weird, scary thing, right? So her friend and she end up in the hospital. She's treated there for 3 days in Mexico, stabilized, brought back to the US, and then is treated here at Providence, Portland for 5 days. They do all kinds of testing. So they do CAT scan, MRI, toxicology, looking for drugs, anything unusual, nothing. I mean, it's all nothing abnormal, which is really kind of, we say medical mystery, but it is. I mean, her doctors are like, we don't really know what happened here. And it's difficult too because there wasn't testing done right then and there, right? That would have been probably helpful.
You're in a different country.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
a third world country in some parts.
Yeah.
And it's hard
But
to...
what really struck something with me is there have been some issues with this in the past in Mexico as far as tainted alcohol. So basically, they're finding cheap product that is often not regulated. It's not what you and I would normally buy at the liquor store, and it's being served. And unfortunately, there's some stuff in there you probably don't want. Makes you very sick. And that may be the case here. They don't know. Could have also been drugged, which is something that unfortunately happens all too often.
Was she staying in a private house or a resort?
She was staying at a resort, and they'd gone into the town, and they've been to some restaurants. So, you know, where she got it from, they don't really know. They have some suspicions, but ultimately, you know, because there wasn't a real investigation there, because there wasn't testing done there, and even in drugging cases in the U.S., it's oftentimes
hard to link it back.
Exactly, it's really challenging. So, actually, after promoting this story, I've started to get some other reports from people as well with similar conditions. So I'll be looking into that as additionally. And you know, there's been a lot of reporting. 2017, when this cases first started to emerge, and then 2018, State Department put out a warning as well to people. Said, listen, we're going to start tracking this as well because it is a serious situation. So it's something that's out there. People have heard about, has been reported, and people need to be aware of, certainly. But unfortunately, I mean, what do you do? That's kind of
You just think of all those, I mean, cases where, you know, roofies were popular, and you heard about that, and just watching, you know, where your cup was. But I mean, if it's in the bottle that's on the shelf at the resort,
what are you going to do?
How are you going to know?
What are you going to do?
And it looks the exact same.
And you really can't. I mean, the advice we give people is similar to in the U.S. Typically, be out with somebody in pairs or in a group, so you can kind of watch out for one another. Maybe somebody's a little more sober than the rest, kind of like a designated driver. And then if you do, order a beer and open it yourself if you can, like a can or a bottle. That way you know for sure. But to your point, I mean, if it's tainted alcohol in the first place, what are you going to do then? Right.
And it's just scary being stuck somewhere. And then, I mean, thankfully she was okay enough to fly home.
Right. She was stabilized.
Right.
And it is a good point because a lot of people are heading internationally for spring break, this spring, and then summer. You know, if something does happen, if you are the victim of a crime, so you should go to the embassy. The State Department.
Even if you're just sick and you think like, oh, I got something.
I mean, pretty serious. Very serious. But, you know, the State Department monitors this kind of thing, and they play a critical role in seeing what's going on in the countries where they are as well. So that's something to remember as well.
Crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
so you've heard from more people that
We have.
gotten
We'll see
sick
where it goes
now.
from here. Yeah.
All right.
And we're always looking for
Excellent.
great story ideas too. So.
Yes. Tell people your email and phone number.
The endless
Call Kyle.
promotion. Call
Yes.
Kyle at KGW. Yeah, we're always looking for great ideas. So if you've got something, we get tons of tips. We love looking to see what we can find out.
Yeah.
And,
Just going to check it out. All right. Thank you
go.
for waking up worthy with
Have
us.
a great morning.
Appreciate it,
You bet.
Kyle. Okay. Let's see. Let's talk about parenting. Here's another parent. We're going to talk about parenting.
weather.
Let's talk
I
about
am
weather.
a parent. Did you say
You
you're
are-
not a parent?
I
I'm
said
a
you
parent.
are a parent.
I'm a parent.
How do you like to discipline your daughter?
So Natasha is 12.
Yes.
So it's her first year of middle school. She's in 6th grade.
Yeah.
Now I will say we're very blessed. In
She's a good-
that we
she's a
have.
good girl.
She's a good
She
girl.
probably doesn't get in trouble very often.
And you know what's great? She tells on herself.
No
like,
way.
Mommy, Daddy, I did something, X, Y, Z.
Right.
That I shouldn't have.
See, that's how you praise that, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like you told the truth and you owned up to it. So then you can't get,
So,
get mad.
I mean, can I brag for a second?
Yes.
So she just got all of her grades up to straight A's, basically.
Good job, Natasha.
So we gave her money. I don't know if that's good or bad, but we're like, honey.
Dangling the carrot, It's
But you wanted her
whatever you got to do.
to know how proud we were
Yeah.
of her.
That's
so,
awesome. How much did you give her?
well, I gave her $10, but then
Okay.
Grandpa gave her some money too.
Okay, $10.
Not bad.
bucks.
I remember when
$10.
allowances were 25 cents when I was a kid, my dear.
my
We got
God. You used to walk
25
to school
cents
barefoot,
a
too?
week. No, we had shoes. But for 25 cents in those days, we could walk to the neighborhood grocery store and buy a popsicle for a dime. You still had 15 cents left over.
That's math.
Thank you. You want to talk about weather real
Let's
quick?
talk about weather. We loved this weekend's weather. My daughter and I got to go out and I haphazardly, trimmed some herbs and bushes and
Yard
was,
work.
Constantly watching for
Yeah.
what the heck she was putting in her mouth.
Oh, yeah.
But it was great. The park, we went to a couple city parks. They were slam packed with people fighting over the swings and the slides and.
So I want to ask, at least where I live up in Vancouver, things that usually start to pop out the first 10 days of February are just now kind of starting to look like they want to come out. It's been really a delayed
I noticed,
spring
like
bloom.
tulips
Have these-
kind of
okay, starting to
popping
come
up. Yeah.
Okay.
Actual
Anyway,
blooms.
so 69 yesterday. So far, the airport has not popped 70.
Okay,
A
but
lot of
other
areas
places
did. Yeah.
did,
Sky
yeah.
Bruce at 74 yesterday. It was
Yeah.
crazy. So I'm not sure. We're going to take some weather maps. Or there's the
got
Wells Fargo.
Tower
That's
Sunrise. There we go.
beautiful. Can we go to the weather map, to weather graphic machine, real quick?
Oh, we're looking
There's
at the coast
Newport.
cam.
Look how beautiful that
Yay.
is. There were 70s in Seaside and Tillamook yesterday. It's 54 in Newport right now. I mean, anybody basically with an east wind from the coast to the valley is going to be around 70 again today. Looks like they had an event yesterday set up with the chairs on the lawn there. This is the Stoller Family Vineyards camera. So pretty. This is out near
so
Dayton.
pretty out there.
Yeah, 49. I got to speak at a University of Missouri alumni event, basically, which is my alma mater, last weekend, which was great out there. And there's that Wells Fargo camera. So basically 62 at lunchtime. If you're just getting your day going, we'll be up to around 70 degrees. We don't see much of any change through really Wednesday. Maybe we get a scattered shower popping on Thursday, and then there's a front that comes into town on Friday. And if you didn't go up to the mountain this weekend because you thought, oh, it's going to be too warm, it'd be in the 50s up there today. Snow levels are going to come down to maybe 4,000 feet next weekend. So that would be perhaps some fresh snow, at least to 5,000 feet on the mountain next weekend. So as we get into
Look
the
at this
spring
guy.
skiing
He's
season.
showing off his hardware here.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we got the memo too. The green.
Yeah,
yeah.
yes.
We did not
And
coordinate
purple.
this.
You guys look
We have a winner.
Yes.
We have a winner,
look
Chris
great.
McGinness.
So I didn't realize this until I actually looked at the results this morning, but I actually did manage to score a third place finish in my age group. So I know it's bad. I have to start relegating myself to age group.
What do you mind? What is the age group that you run in?
40 to 44. So
Oh, pretty tight
it's just
age, 40 to 44.
Well, we need our self-esteem boosted, so we need to keep narrowing those age groups so that we call it all keep winning awards.
And your time, Matt, you ran what type of
54
mile?
flat for the 15K. That was exactly what I was hoping I would run, which works out to about 5:48.
Good job.
And yeah, so it was an amazing day.
Yeah.
What a great day for a race, right? I mean, the weather couldn't have been better.
I heard it was one of the best Shamrock Run Day weather forecast ever.
I've finished 6 of them and entered 7 or 8 of them, and that was the nicest weather that I can remember. I mean, it wasn't even that cold in the morning. There wasn't much of a breeze. The sun was out. Everybody was having a good time. It was just a fantastic day for a race. So.
Did Patrick come out to the finish line and see you?
So actually, our family actually headed down to Salem to go catch up with the in-laws that were little.
Yeah,
so I got ditched.
Ditched Chris. Just left him.
So little Patrick wanted to have a couple years now, right?
Yeah, that happens.
Oh yeah, let's show some running pictures. We have some pictures of Chris.
Yeah, lots of
from the race. Yeah.
Oh, right here.
I think we've got lots of pictures from lots of folks out there.
Pictures from.
Yeah, I lost my camera crew actually. So that with Catherine and Patrick heading out to Salem, I didn't get a chance to get a selfie with them. But in any event, yeah, it was a great morning for a race. I wanted to switch gears real quick after we kind of get done talking about the Shamrock run here, which was phenomenal.
Yes.
Which was phenomenal. I do have one big traffic thing to tell folks about.
Okay.
And it starts tonight. It's big traffic impact for folks that work or live on the west side. Yeah. So anybody that uses I-405 know that the ODOT ramps project, the I-405 ramps project, starts tonight. That will be full intermittent closures of the Highway 30, Vaughn Street, on-ramps.
On-ramp, okay.
I-405 north and southbound. They're not going to close both ramps at the same time, but when one ramp is closed, you're going to have to take the long way around. So for the night owls or the early morning commuters, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, that would be us. You're going to have to go the long way around. So that's going to add about 4 or 5 minutes to your commute overnight. This project continues through the end of the week. It's a much larger project involving all the I-405 expansion joints and ramps and whatnot that continues through late next year.
We've been used to all this spring construction.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, you did a Driving Me Crazy segment this morning on Roundabouts.
Roundabouts, yeah.
I've lived in Bend for 9 years.
The land of Roundabouts.
The land of, we made up Roundabouts.
So you know these very well then.
You have to be on the rules, and yes, and I know Drew was making fun of the turn signal thing. That's
it helps.
Real.
It definitely helps. The other thing that helps, I think, is that when you go in, it's just kind of being aware of where you're going to go as you go through that roundabout. And these are new. They'll take some getting used to. The 2 that we're talking about specifically, a viewer in McMinnville reached out and said, Chris, you got to check out these roundabouts in McMinnville. They're driving us a little wonky here.
There's some video of it.
So we're going to check those out. That's on my Facebook page, by the way. The latest story about roundabouts in McMinnville. So I would love to have folks chime in. Let me know what drives you crazy on the roads out there. We'll go out, we'll check it out. Love to talk to you as well. Send me your comments, send me your photos, your videos of crazy driving, bad parking jobs. Of course, we've been featuring those photos throughout this series as well.
Yes.
And the latest story again will be
McMinnville
roundabouts.
Okay. Use your turn signal. Yeah. When you get in and you're going to take the second, right.
And yield. But don't stop and set up shop for like 60 seconds.
Right.
You don't have to do that.
If you're in the roundabout, you don't yield. You keep going.
You keep moving because you have the right of way.
Yeah. Then they will.
Speaking of right of way, I got to right on over to the traffic center to go get an update.
Congratulations on the hardware.
And congratulations to all the finishers out there.
Yes.
Wonderful day for a run.
25,000 of them. Okay. Ashley Korslien, come on in here.
I'm stepping in. You have everybody coming in here.
I know. We look at this. This is a freaking empty cup.
This is actually has coffee. Is this Rod's?
That might be Kyla Bosch's.
No, it's mine.
Rod, you cannot forget your fuel
your
here.
leftovers.
Thank you, dear.
Yeah. Cheers.
Nice, kind of red, orange,
Yeah, stick around, Rod. Maybe we can tell.
Can I stick around? Can I be with the ladies?
Weigh in, sure. Why not?
Oh, there's no mug.
It's empty.
It's funny, our producer loves to push these mugs. I'm the only one that actually uses it. Why is that?
I need to start
They're
drinking
quite
coffee because
lovely,
I don't even drink it.
The
Okay, you had a great story today about
Yes.
in your positive parenting segment.
Yep.
And it has a like clinical name that sounds kind of lame,
Yeah.
but when you boil it down, it makes sense, right?
Well, yeah.
Inductive parenting.
Inductive discipline. So yeah, the name's a little,
Strict.
a little officially. So, but what it boils down to is instead of, grounding your kids, taking away their phone, being getting upset as the parent when you're disciplining your child, is to take a different approach to it. And researchers studied this, and they found that it actually helps. So inductive discipline is essentially where you would say, I expected more from you, or let's talk about how your actions impacted someone else. And so the whole thing about inductive discipline is inducing your child to understand how their transgressions affect other people.
Instead of just being like, I'm going to spank you when I get home.
More reflective.
Yeah.
But if you have that, what I'm going to call a nice chat, that's probably not what the experts want to call it. But if the behavior repeats itself at some point, don't you have to take away a privilege? Don't you have to grab and take away the phone?
I do.
You can't have nice chats forever, is my point.
I don't think they're saying that this applies to everything, but they're saying to start with a different approach when your child maybe messes up the first time, and have a conversation and talk with them and allow them to understand their actions and the implications of their actions. So it's kind of an interesting concept. I mean,
always hit me, and that's what we were talking about earlier, is like it always hit me harder if my dad was calm and just being like, Neen, that really disappointed me. And I would, oh my gosh, I would get, instead of like yelling and screaming, which I could deal with.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, whatever, it'll be over. But like knowing that you disappointed your parent.
My father was very calm. This was my dad's thing.
Yeah.
And it was my father's thing for years and years. I have one brother. Whenever we messed up, maybe we didn't do something we were supposed to do, maybe we were late getting home, I swear my father would go out into the garage, make a mess out of it, and he would come in and after a while he just said garage.
Smart man.
And that was our punishment. We had to clean the garage.
I love that.
And
that's interesting.
It seemed like a really large garage at the time. I'm sure it's not
You
as
were a
big as I
small kid,
remember.
And heavy stuff is in the garage to put up on those shelves.
Oh, and the thing I should mention, I forgot to say, is this, what researchers studied, it was specific to preteens and teens, so Natasha's age.
So 12 years old.
So maybe not younger. I mean, I don't know if that would, I don't think it can hurt to talk to your younger kids about stuff, but this was specifically for that age range. So let us know.
Like we have little babies right now, and that's just so hard
That's so
to
far
imagine
away.
of like, what did you do?
I know.
Like right now, they're just so cute.
But my wife and I, we haven't done it yet, but we may do it today. We do want to talk with our daughter, Natasha, about what happened at that middle school up in Vancouver.
Geyser Middle School.
Last Friday night. And we want to cover things like, what should you physically do if you're in a setting like that? And both my wife and I talked about it. We think, for starters, you should probably, if you can just safely get yourself out of there, just remove yourself. But also talk about the importance of, there are figures of authority, be it a teacher or a police officer, and those lines of respect should not be questioned.
Absolutely.
It's all tied together.
I don't think so.
It's a good, the story, it's very timely to have those conversations with your kids, so it works out. So
a lot of parents talking about this morning.
we're going to be doing some more of these positive parenting segments.
Are you learning a lot from
I'm learning, but yeah, like you said, like having babies so little. Yeah, it's like, it just seems, and they're never going to do anything wrong, right?
Yeah,
right?
Never.
It goes
ever.
quick.
His daughter's an angel. We want to ask you guys, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, parents, what's the best way that you guys discipline your kids? Is it the spanking? Is it the chat? Is it the, I'm disappointed in you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are we getting comments? Where are you guys looking for comments, by the way?
Kids need to learn empathy. That's one comment that somebody says on Facebook that producer Jessica.
My parents just looked at the fridge where they had the wooden spoon up there. All they had to do was look at the fridge, and I would be like, I'm done. I apologize.
I wonder how many. I feel like the number one thing now is parents, I'm going to take away your phone. I'm going to take away your electronics, whatever game device they have. Because kids are so addicted to them.
They are.
I feel like that's becoming a go-to for parents.
Yep. Anybody else get soap in their mouth?
I got it once.
I had to bite the bar.
Traumatized my mom more than me.
Probably, yeah.
And so it never happened again.
Brush your teeth with soap.
Yep, or bite
the
bite
bar
it.
soap.
Ooh,
yeah.
We got
that was
boy,
horrible.
the good old days.
I think I might have rather been spanked than
I think I would
soap.
too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, what are we going to next? I'm sorry, producer Jessica.
Oh, to New Zealand.
Oh, right,
to
yeah.
the update.
New Zealand.
So yeah, we want to get that update in the Netherlands. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Nina.
So yeah, let us know your comments about parenting. But while we let you guys talk about that, we want to get an update. There's that 37-year-old Turkish man who was seen on one of those trams outside of Amsterdam where the shooting happened this morning. We have now confirmed 3 people have been shot and killed. And they're saying that it's most likely a terror motive that is attacked to this. 9 people have been wounded, and several of them seriously, 3 dead, while they are closing some of those borders down, looking for that solo attacker, that gunman this morning who was seen sitting on a train in a hooded sweatshirt. You can see some media members there in Amsterdam, getting ready for a press conference this morning. So we will keep an eye on that story. Of course, we'll bring you the latest on KGW News at noon. Todd, thank you. Does he say that on Facebook? I can't see if it. Todd on Facebook says, thank you for extending your coverage. You're welcome. We like it. Let's see. Gina on Instagram says, I don't think I would say I'm disappointed, but I used to use timeouts and then talk to them asking why they were in trouble when they were younger. Kevin on Facebook says he remembers soap in the mouth, the worst. Seriously, the worst. Who uses bar soap anymore either? How would you do that nowadays? You use bar soap, Rod?
Yes, I love it.
You weirdo. Doesn't it lose?
No.
Like,
Can I plug a local company?
Come in. Bar soap?
My wife thinks it's kind of goofy. My wife is married to a man. I don't wear that much jewelry, and I really don't wear cologne. But I order my soap. I'm very particular about my bar soap.
What kind do you get?
And it's this local company. They make it out in the gorge. I'm not going to get the name right, but something like.
It's local. Okay.
It's goat's milk, so it's farm goat, something like that. Anyway, it's out in Corbett, and they sell it at farmers markets around the area, and it's spectacular.
Oh, your skin is lovely. Goat's milk. You
Yes,
bathe
dear.
in goat's milk?
I do.
I love this. Okay, bar soap. Doesn't it leave a bunch of residue all over the shower, though?
I don't feel I gotta have something in my hand. I gotta do all this.
Oh my gosh.
Otherwise,
people on Facebook saying they had to bite the bar
the
soap
pump
down.
stuff. I feel like I used the whole container before I'm done.
Oh my gosh.
Drew uses a bar.
Drew, I know you don't have a mic on. Come here. It's okay. You can use mine. Drew, are you like an Irish Spring or a Dial man?
No, it's Dove sensitive skin.
Whoa.
The bar. Does your
bar
whole
does.
family use a bar?
Touchy-feely.
Well,
This is why I think this
no,
is.
my wife does not use a bar. And I don't know what those
I don't
boys
want
are
to
using.
share the soap bars with the
soap
family.
is clean.
The stuff that sticks to it, there's, you know.
I don't know why people have. I've heard about this issue. Can people hear me right now?
Yeah.
Do I have to talk into you?
No.
Please don't.
Oh, you'll smell amazing with your Dove sensitive skin.
Sensitive skin soap. No, I don't know. I am
do actually
particular
smell
about
it.
like it's good.
Yeah.
People say all the time, "What's
Or
that
maybe it's your
detergent?" I say, "No,
deodorant.
that's my Dove soap."
Okay.
And then I
with
try
that,
to clean the soap before I put it back. I make sure the soap is clean.
Good. I don't know how we got on this topic, but thank you for joining us for Sunrise Extra. We'll be here every